कॉपीराइट वायलेशन कर रहे हैं.
Whenever it comes, we will go for chai. Chai is first always. Chai के बाद session शुरू करेगा. No issue. We will not take much time since we are all friends and we are all family members. Family का कोई भी चीज है, everyone involved है. Therefore, uh, I don't think I need to explain NEP and NCF to you. सब family members है, हम लोग का है. Since it is ours, you all know about it. Therefore, I will not say anything. You will say many things. Like this. That could be the way we can proceed NEP and NCF. But I thought earlier session में some pre-survey कर रहे. I thought something NEP related भी है pre-survey. Some questions NEP related भी था. Okay. I morning में बेरा जी एक चीज बोला. I don't know how many of you heard it. NEP read करने के लिए बोला. 50 पेज. कितना लोग एक बार रीड किए? I am not going to 50. I will start with only one. One एक बार रीड किया ना? Multiple. Okay. More than 10? नहीं आसपास. Bhatidhar ji, I think read it more than 100 times. 100 training program already conduct किया. इसलिए every program when we do, we may also go through NEP again and again, which is very huge document. No, contains more than 1,000 pages. Yeah. ये बोल रहे हैं. It's a huge document, contains more than 1,000 pages. पेज नंबर में काउंट नहीं किया. हाँ. It's not a huge document. It's a very small, but a comprehensive, a beautiful document. But इसका introduction में एक very important statement है that I think we all need to go through, understand, conceptualize, and use it whenever we go for any training, whenever you are going for any programs, whatever it may be. Even most of you are teachers, since it is all very important for all of you when you are practicing it. And that statement is related with the vision of NEP. Anyone? Any idea? But NEP is talking about the vision of education. It's a beautiful statement. And I will say that is the crux of NEP. Whatever you are saying, it is everything is there, but I need that statement. There is no. It's a beautiful statement. That is why 50 times we need to go and read it. I will show it, but I will not show now. ये मेरे डायरेक्टर को नहीं पड़ेगा. शो करना. ये स्टेटमेंट देखा कोई भी? The national education policy envisions an education system rooted in Indian ethos. I highlighted three aspects. One is rooted in Indian ethos that contributes directly to transforming India, that is Bharat, sustainably into the second part, an equitable and vibrant knowledge society. How we are going to transform our society into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society is by providing high quality education to all, and thereby our vision is to make India a global knowledge superpower, or every individuals in our country as a global citizen. This is what the NEP is talking about. I highlighted these three aspects And from the three aspects, you can see that our NEP is talking about using the knowledge already available in Indian culture, Indian tradition, Indian values, that means rooted in India. And using that, we need to provide high quality education so that we can make a society which is equitable and vibrant. And by doing so, we are expecting that our country is going to become a global knowledge superpower. Now you see, we are starting from where? We're starting from our local knowledge, our tradition, our values. It's nothing but localness, local. And we are aiming to become a global knowledge superpower. That is what UNESCO's, you all may be familiar, ESG, uh, SDG, Sustainable Development Goals 2030, is making a global society, global, or global education agenda. You may have seen that UNESCO's global education agenda is talking about to make every country in that way. And we are also a signatory in that 2030 SDG. And we are also, through our education policy, we are reiterating our signature. Through this way, we would like to, and we don't want to neglect, or don't want to see our own. No, neglect करके we will not go to become a global citizen. Therefore, we would like to use our own knowledge since we have plenty of things to use. And using that, we definitely will go and become a global knowledge superpower. And this is the vision of NEP, global, local to global. You can say local to global. Now, many of you may be familiar with other policies in India. We had some other policies earlier, education policies. I hope you may be knowing. Before 2020 policy, do we have any policy earlier? Yes. 1986 and any other? 92. 1992 is not a full-fledged policy. It's only a revised one or it's a program of action. 1986 and 68. We have, this is our third policy. And do you have any idea about the vision of 1968 and 1986?
68 is not complete policy. Actually.
68.
That is a commission, sorry, 68. That is not a complete policy. That is a Kotari Commission's recommendation.
No, it's a education policy, but it's based on Kotari Commission recommendation. But it's also a policy, 1968. This is our third policy. We call this 2020 is our third full-fledged policy. And 86 is talking about what? Any idea? Since we are all from NCR, we need to have an idea about it. 68 and 86.
86 में सर कंप्यूटर का परिवर्तन
Okay.
सर उसमें राजीव गांधी लिखी है
Okay.
इंडिया का सर
Okay. This is what 86, 68 and 2020 is talking. The vision. What is 68 is given? You can see 68 and 86 both are focusing on national level, national integration. 68 is talking about the national progress and national development, whereas 86 is talking about quality education to all and all-round development and national cohesion. Both policies clearly you can see not gone beyond the nation. That means global. Not talking about anything about the global thing. And this figure shows that the policy in 2020 is all inclusive. That means whatever 68 or 86 is talking about, we are agreeing we need to, since many of the things we still, since for example, when we are talking about the quality education to all, 86 is talking, the first time the policy talked about quality education to all. The 2020 is also echoing the same thing, since we were not in a position to reach the quality education to all. Still, we are talking after various schemes, centrally sponsored. You may be aware about three important centrally sponsored schemes.
SSA, RMSA,
Hmm.
and Samagra Shiksha.
Okay. Any other before that?
Operation Black Hole.
Yeah. DPEP. And all these policies, one of the major focus was on quality. There are starts with equity, access. These are something, and because of SSA, Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan and RMSA, between RMSA also came, and the effort of SSA and both SSA and RMSA ensured this access somewhat. Since we can see that even if you, since many of you are involved in various NCRT program, you might have visited many states also. Some of the states you might have seen within 1 kilometer also, 2, 3 schools within 1 kilometer. But we we are expecting that one primary school need to be there within 1 kilometer. But we can see even more than that also in some of the areas of our country. And this all happens because of the some of the centrally sponsored scheme, and all these centrally sponsored scheme have been given trust to various aspects, including quality. The quality was the last thrust area in all these schemes. But still, we are using the word quality. What may be the reason? Still, we are saying quality education to all. DPEP spoke about quality. How many of you have an idea about DPEP? Anyone? Any idea about DPEP? What about DPEP? Yeah. District primary education. चाय आ गया? Yeah, it's a very good news. चाय आ गया. Break for tea. Then after tea we will start. Okay. Actually, and we are all working together. All our family members are working together to realize this vision of NEP 2020, to prepare our future generation as a global citizen, or to make our country a knowledge superpower, global knowledge superpower. And with this, NEP has come up with, and NCF, both, I am not talking about NCF separately, NCF FS and NCF SC. What may be the reason? I am not talking separately NCF SC and NCF FS. What may be the reason? Yeah.
NCFSC is already including NCFFS.
Yeah. We all need to understand that when you read NCFSC, it is not for middle or secondary. It is for entire school education, starting from foundation till secondary, grade 12. And if you see the preface of any NCFSC, it's clearly mentioned that NCFFS is already subsumed under NCFSC. Therefore, the abridged version, that means the major aspects given in NCFFS are covered in NCFSC. Therefore, if you go and read NCFSC in a better way, and now the pages will come NCFSC, how many pages?
Around 600, 600.
Around and between is not.
523.
Yes. 553 is the Roman.
23 बोला है.
523 बोला, okay. Then 523 means it is wrong.
576.
देखो. Since he is from elementary education, he is saying it is 576. While 576 is a beautiful number. The square of? The square of? You are mathematician, you should tell. The square of?
Apply AI.
It's a square number, no? 576. Yeah? 24. 24. but it's not correct. Square of 24 is correct. The page number is not correct.
553.
Yeah?
599.
Yes, 599 is need to push.
628, sir.
Yeah?
652.
Sir, actually I have searched. Then
And if you search in Google also, your answer will be wrong. Why I am saying there are three different versions which is emerging.
one is 600.
Okay, you will get three different versions, and these three different versions will show you different page numbers. And the final version has only 600 pages. Exactly 600 page. And when you are downloading NCF, download that NCF which has only 600. That is the final version, the final edition. Otherwise, if you go and search in Google, you will get 576 also.
I pointed the three versions earlier.
576 also, you will get 638 or something also. Okay. 628 also. That is not the final version. Final version has only 600. And this 600 may NCF, yes, FS also subsumed. That's what I am saying. And for realizing this mission, NEP has suggested that this is the first time NEP suggested or any policy suggested that we need to have different curriculum framework. And this time NEP suggested 4 curriculum framework. You all know. One is of foundation, one is of school education, and I'm sorry to say that in one of the PSC agenda, and one of our uh, constituent unit or department, in the PSC agenda they have uh, mentioned National Curriculum Framework, NCF, SCS, National Curriculum Framework for Secondary Education. Okay, it's not for secondary education. SC is not secondary education, it is school education. If we are doing this type of mistake, then what we can expect from the others? Therefore, be very sure about all these things, and then NCF for teacher education and adult education. NCF for teacher education will be coming very soon. I'm not going to that aspect, but we need to have the very important. As I mentioned, it's a transformative policy. This is a very transformative policy, and come up with loads of transformative recommendations. And I'm not going to explain since you all know what are those transformative recommendations. If I get some transformative recommendation, Balaji will give one transformative recommendation.
Pedagogical structure.
It's a very important pedagogical structure, and don't use it as a pedagogical structure.
Curricular and pedagogical structure.
Use it curricular and pedagogical structure. That is more important. What do you mean by curricular and pedagogical structure? And when NCRT people also, I saw one. I listened to 1, 2, 3 places. We are replacing 10 plus 2 by 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 structure. No, it's not a replacement of 10 plus 2 in that way. 10 plus 2 was purely in the sense that it is an academic structure or administrative structure. That is why this NCF has very clearly mentioned it is not a structure, it is a curricular and pedagogical structure. And you will get the idea very clear when it comes to the foundation stage. But why the foundation stage? The first 3 year, Balwadiga 1, Balwadiga 2, Balwadiga 3. Now it is part of school education. So first time it is now a part of school education. And if it is a part of school education under 5, first 5, the foundation, then we administrative structures will tell that okay, then our school need to start from Balwadiga. Therefore, our classroom will need to start from Balwadiga 1. The administrator will tell. We in our school need to have Balwadiga 1, Balwadiga 2, Balwadiga 3, then 1 and 2 as a separate section. 3, 4, 5, another section. 6, 7, 8, another one. 9, 10, 11, 12, another one. That is the concept of an administrative structure. But the policy has clearly mentioned it is not an administrative structure. It is purely curricular and pedagogical. That means if a school starts with the grade 1, no issue at all. If there are institutions nearby having LKG, UKG or Anganwadis, it can be located if possible, otherwise they can continue there itself. But the only thing is that we know in Barawadis right now we have different types of institutions offering. Can you name anyone? For age 3, 4, 5 students के लिए education, there are different types of organizations are involved. There are ICDS giving Anganwadi. There are private institutions having play school, Montessori schools. There are uh, some kids something kids word or something Rio school. There are in different names. That is one difference you can see. And what a Anganwadi teacher or Aya, we call it as Aya, I think, was teaching or engaging with the students in an Anganwadi. You see what a teacher in a Montessori school teaching with or engaging with the child in a Montessori school, or a teacher in a government. There are government schools also having pre-primary. The teacher there teaching, you see the curriculum are entirely different. The pedagogy is entirely different. How much an Anganwadi teacher is getting? How much an Anganwadi teacher is getting?
10,000.
It varies from state to state also.
Yes, sir.
ICDS is giving and state government also supporting. But it varies. And Montessori schools teachers, they are getting different salary. There is no structure at all, the teacher salary. And what is the qualification for teachers in pre-primary? Qualification? Anganwadi, Aya, is it mandatory to pass 12?
Then we
Whether they require any professional degree? Any professional degree like DLED, B.Ed or any degree? No, no qualification as such.
Some states impose MTT, the teacher training.
No, that is for only Montessori school or private school, not for Anganwadi. Anganwadi, there is no set qualification like differ. And do you have any idea in India there is only one degree or one certificate which is eligible for to become a teacher in pre-primary? Only one. Any idea? Which is that course? Only one approved course in India, which will, if you complete that, you can become a teacher in pre-primary. What is that course? Any idea?
Child psychology.
NTT.
Yeah? Diploma in?
Child psychology.
Yeah, पाटीदार ये ऐसे ऐसे क्वेश्चन को आंसर नहीं करना है पाटीदार
Diploma in early childhood.
Diploma in preschool education.
Yes, DPSC is the only one course. Diploma in preschool education. This is the only course approved by NCT for preparing a teacher at a pre-primary school. And you see in India, all over India, you see only very few institutions are offering this course. Very few. Why? This course is of 2 years. And you might have seen many advertisement papers, some private institutions, they are giving 3 month certificate course to pre-primary teacher, 6 month course. There are many institutions they are offering. And why should I go for 2 when it is available with 3 months? People are going there and they are doing. Therefore, there is no uniformity in curriculum, teacher salary, the teaching learning process, the nomenclature under this. And this NEP, that is why this is a transformative recommendation. This is the first policy since independence which shows that there should be a uniformity. Where that uniformity now will come in curriculum as well as pedagogy. And this is a curricular and pedagogical structure. Wherever Anganwadi is going on, no issue, Anganwadi will continue. But the curriculum and pedagogy of that particular Anganwadi need to be equated with the curriculum and pedagogy used in a Montessori school or a government school having pre-primary or a private school having pre-primary, but the uniformity. That means the child going to that institution or this institution after completing coming to grade 1 will have a reasonable consistent competency. Why we are conducting Vidya Pravesh? Some of you are involved in Vidya Pravesh. Many of you are involved in Vidya Pravesh evaluation. Why this Vidya Pravesh program 3 months is conducted by government? It's only for bridging this gap. Since now the grade 1 students are coming through different institutions with this varying components. Therefore, when they are coming to grade 1, first 3 months fully we are giving a bridge program, which is a school readiness program, so that we can ensure that at least all the childs are on same track when they are going for grade 1 class. This is the purpose of Vidya Pravesh program. And once we have a uniform curriculum and pedagogy across India, we will stop Vidya Pravesh. Since उसके बाद Vidya Pravesh का जरूरी नहीं आएगा. Since this is for that readiness. And if we have the curriculum and pedagogy across India same, then that readiness program is not required. This is one of the important recommendation with transformation. Thank you, Balaji. Any other?
No hard separation between.
बालाजी जी का कदम हो गया.
सर मल्टीपल एग्जिट्स उसमें है ऑप्शन दिया गया
School,
है
we are going to discuss today some many things related to school education. Multiple exit and entry will come for higher education.
There is no hard separation between curricular and.
Yeah, there is no hard separation between curricular or curricular activities. That is not now. It is not the new one since the NCF 2005 also talking about we don't have any co-curricular activity. No hard separation between science and humanity. There is no hard separation between commerce and this. There is no hard separation between art education, physical education. Now all these are curricular areas for us. And all these are curricular areas, and these three important curricular area has been introduced by this policy. This is another transformative recommendation. एंड लास्ट मीटिंग डायरेक्टर ने बोला टाइम टेबल शेयर करने के लिए डीएमएस का. आप लोग का टाइम टेबल में कितना टाइम टेबल में आर्ट एजुकेशन, वोकेशनल एजुकेशन, स्पोर्ट्स एजुकेशन आ गया डीएमएस में? आ गया आ गया टाइम टेबल में आ गया, बट पुराना चल रहा है. एंड हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू आर टीचिंग आर्ट एजुकेशन, फिजिकल एजुकेशन और वोकेशनल एजुकेशन इन योर डीएमएस? एनीवन? Any of you are engaged in teaching of these three new curricular area: art education, vocational education, physical education? You. Good. Which subject?
Electrical, sir. Electrical.
You are talking vocation. What is your subject?
Sir, electrical.
No, you are a work experience teacher.
Yes, sir. Portion.
And you are a vocational education anyway. I am talking about a Balaji. Sri Balaji is maths teacher. Whether he is teaching vocational education, I would like to know. Whether he is teaching art education, I would like to know.
It is integrating with others.
No, integration. These are all.
ये
Are you engaged in vocational education textbook teaching, art education teaching?
Sir, in Bhubaneswar they are taken
Who
by
is teaching?
contractual teachers.
You are teaching, sir. You are teaching only art, vocational education.
Yes, sir.
Only vocational education, only one aspect.
सर वर्क एक्सपीरियंस एक सब्जेक्ट है ना सर डीएमएस.
हाँ.
तो वर्क एक्सपीरियंस का सर कौशल बोध को पढ़ाने के लिए बोला गया.
तो कौशल बोध का पूरा टेक्स्ट बुक आप पढ़.
नहीं सर, उसमें एग्रीकल्चर वाले भी पढ़ा रहे हैं.
बाकी कौन कर रहा है?
एग्रीकल्चर, होम साइंस और मैं, हम तीन पढ़ा रहे हैं.
Okay. This is what the that is why our title is NCF in practice. Practice करना हमारा. We are going everywhere and asking the teacher who is teaching social science, language, or math in a team teaching through different way. We need to teach even physically. We don't have a art education separate vocational teacher in many schools, and it is our responsibility. Integration, you are integrating maths. When you are teaching integration mathematics, you are integrating something. No, can you teach vocational education and take mathematics also, support mathematics also? This is more important. And now you all have timetable, but no one is teaching. That is what the reality. Since many of the institutions don't have it. You have only one physical education teacher. How many classes that physical education will teach?
In Bhubaneswar, contractual teachers take the vocational subjects.
Okay. For them only.
They are timetable is there.
Any of you are involved in team teaching? Since when I am talking about a vocational education, one topic, there is a scope for integrating science, there is a scope for integrating maths, there is a scope for integrating language, and all these three teachers are going together, working together and teaching. and use supportive. Anyone? And this is the policy is talking about, since we don't have right now for 6, 7 age separate art teacher. Since art education book, if you see, there are different artist form, and even common teacher, a general teacher may not be able to teach music. Therefore, you may require someone from outside. But when someone is coming, you also can, from your textbooks related aspect or your concept related aspect, you can contribute. And we need to think about how this can be used very effectively for integrating. Then only the no separation will actually happen. And this is second one, no separation. Okay, any third one? Not Balaji.
Multilingualism.
Multilingualism. Okay, sir.
Rootedness in India.
Rootedness in India.
Sir, it focuses on mother tongue only.
Yeah. Mother tongue.
Especially, sir.
Okay. Then rootedness in India. I'm not going to explain. I think rootedness and mother tongue multilingualism, you all are aware. I'm not going to explain. You can give example if you want. Any other recommendation?
Tight but light curriculum. Tight but light curriculum.
Tight or
Tight but light curriculum.
tight but light.
Less
Tight
curriculum
है,
load.
loose नहीं है, but light है.
Experiential
Less
learning.
curriculum load, sir.
Okay. It is actually the reducing curriculum load. How the textbook or NCF, how NCF has suggested that textbook need to be with less curriculum load. How it suggested? Is there any way to make it as less?
Competency.
There are 2, 3 aspects given in the NCF. One is the competency based aspect. Second one is
Assessment maybe.
uh, second one is the importance of critical thinking, developing critical thinking. How this can be done? I will be giving one example. And there is another important aspect suggested by NCF that is very important for reducing curriculum load. What is that? There is one word given in NCF on behalf of reducing curriculum load. All textbook, all curriculum area needs to include Shivani is to have only core essential. Have you heard about it? NCF पढ़ के दे ही देगा. You see NCF में जाओ, NCF में जाओ curriculum load में there is a word core essential. What do you mean by core essential? Core essential. For example, if I am preparing a textbook for mathematics, what do you mean by core essential for maths? Core essential for mathematics? Yeah, which are very core and essential, very important for me to sustain my life. Now core essential का impact क्या हो गया? Now पहले हमारे I'm giving an example from maths. पूरा पहले logarithm था हमारा स्कूल में. स्कूल टेस्ट में logarithm था. ये हम लोग remove किया. Why we remove? ये एसेंशियल नहीं है. core essential उसी टाइम उसके कंप्यूटर आ गया, सब कुछ आ गया, कैलकुलेशन whatever may be the calculation logarithm का जरूरी नहीं है. Even now we are talking about something, for example, trigonometry, proof and all. For a 10th standard students, what is the meaning of proof in trigonometry? Something essential जरूरी है, only basic understanding देना है. इसका अलावा कोई भी नहीं देना. Why should we give more and more aspects which are not at all used by the child in future? If I'm a child, I'm not interested in mathematics, why should I learn many things in mathematics? Whatever I require in our future life, this is more important. That is the meaning of core essential, and you can avoid the other things which are include only core essential. That is one thing in the core essential. Second aspect of core essential is when you are even presenting the material, instead of giving 100 examples, give one example which are very crucial in the form of a competency based assessment coming. Instead of asking some factual question, 10 factual question, one competency based question will be sufficient for understanding whether the child acquired that and whether the child is able to apply it in future life. Therefore, competency based education is another aspect introduced by NEP and echoed in NCF and reflected in our textbook development. You can see our textbook, most of the textbook having that type of aspect, even preparing different examples, activities, and all.
Sir, I have a doubt. Can we call foundational as core essential itself? Because foundational aspects more like addition, subtraction, are those things which we learn in foundational stage. That itself is core
No,
essential.
that found.
For 10th, let us leave trigonometry for 10th guys. It may not be core essential, but whatever we call as core essential, we may learn in foundational itself. I just had a doubt right now.
Addition, subtraction, multiplication, these are all fundamental operations.
That itself may not be core essential, that is what I'm asking.
Arithmetic
may
is
not be
required.
considered.
No,
Again, if we go in 10th, in secondary level, if we search for core essential over there, we will actually start with foundational itself. Foundational aspects cover these core essential part of education. What I feel. I just
when you are talking about you have given an example of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Now we are studying 6th standard or 7th standard, simple interest, compound interest, percentage, and all. Okay, the concept. That is the fundamental operation or fundamental understanding. Without that, even you cannot study this one. You can link it with this is a core essential. Now, we all studied simple interest in our grade 6 or 7. How many of you used it in your real life? Have you used it in real life?
depends on what kind of profession you have chosen.
No. Without that also, I am just asking, without going to the profession also, have you used any time in your life the concept of simple interest? You all studied by heart and simple interest formula, I know. I equal to PRP upon 100. We all by hearted. We might have got 50 out of 50, 100 out of 100. But whether we use it, we got a letter from bank. We took a loan, 5 lakh loan. We were not in a position to repay it. After 5 years, we got a letter from bank that you have taken a loan of 5 lakh. You haven't paid the interest or the principal. Now, within the receipt of this letter, within 15 days, you are supposed to pay 8,87,595. What we will do? We got a letter. What we will do? We will go and sit, take a calculator or paper. How this 5 lakh become 8 lakh? Will we calculate? Or we will think from where I will get another loan? एक और loan लेके loan finish करने के लिए we will try. We will not go how the 5 lakh become 8 lakh. We are not, since they are bank people, they know everything. We don't know anything. We are even studied these things, we are not using. What I am saying, when I am talking fundamental, you are talking about the fundamental operation. Every day we are using addition, multiplication, division, and so on.
My thinking was that in foundational stage itself, we might have learned.
No. That is not core essential. That's what I am coming. I am coming. This simple interest is a core essential that we are not studying in foundation. I am coming to that example. That's why I am saying. But for learning that core essential, what is required? A percentage learn category. You need to have idea of addition, multiplication, division. This fundamental operation required. Therefore, whatever that is why it is known as foundational skill. foundational literacy and numeracy. This is the foundation for anything. Then we will have the core essential, everything.
Sir, actually, I am thinking that sir is talking about basic operations. Those things are taught in
That is
pre-primary level,
foundation.
but that is not the fact that sir.
No, that is
This is
No, I
our
have just given an example. No, I am not very particular about that. What I am saying is, whatever essential, core essential things were there, it should be started. It should be started somewhere in core.
No. The core essential means even
we have to understand first.
even
Pre-primary का curriculum क्या है वो ना.
even I am giving an example from social science. We studied Second World War. We studied which class? Which class we studied?
Sir?
Second World War. Oh. Social studies teachers here. I hope you all studied Second World War. Class 9th. Okay. Second World War we all studied. Why still war is going on? Still. अभी अभी भी पेपर में हम ये स्टॉप नहीं कर रहे. Why war is going on? Why war is happening near to us? Why war is happening near to us?
We need peace.
Eh? How we studied Second World War? Now you listen. I studied Second World War through a process we call underlining. I studied underlining. My social science teacher will come and sit in the desk. Usually, most of the social science teacher I noticed with this thing. They will sit on the desk, not on chair. They will start reading. Today we are going to learn Second World War. It started in the year 19. Started in the year 1939. Very important. Underline. Teacher will tell it is very important. We all will underline. एक पैराग्राफ टीचर रीड करेगा उसके बाद रिले है. नेक्स्ट स्टूडेंट विल रीड. नेक्स्ट स्टूडेंट विल रीड नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ. When the student reads, teacher's duty is to say this is very important. Yes. And our duty is to underline. And in the examination only we are reading underline. That is why the later on government of India decided one thing. You are all are familiar. APL and BPL. Above poverty line and below poverty. Underlining are always below poverty line. No, why should I teach Second World War in grade 9? What is the reason? Is it to get lots of dates? How many dates you are remembering when I am talking about Second World War? Anyone? Any date you are remembering when I am talking about Second World War? You are not remembering August 6 and August 9? You are not remembering Nagasaki and Hiroshima? You are not remembering Little Boy and Fat Man? You are not remembering October 24? What is October 24? आने वाला है. आज अक्टूबर 6 है. October 24 क्या है? It is very related with Second World War. We all learned since because of that competitive examination में high mark मिलेगा.
Foundation of United Nations.
Social science teachers नहीं है इधर. अभी नहीं है. है. आप social science है ना?
Science.
We are science. Time being. October 24, 1945 is very important. That is the day United Nations formulated, constituted. Two, with an aim, there should not be a third world war. That happened in 1945. After these much years, still many third world war ho gaya. We are not naming it as third world war, but many war ho gaya. Why it is happening? Since everywhere the teaching, this emotional changes is not happening. Feeling is not happening. When I am teaching Second World War as a teacher, my responsibility to not help the students to understand by heart many year, many place, many names. Instead, my aim need to be make a affectionate change in the child. The child need to think about what will happen if war happens, what is happening in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. The newborn also suffering. No need to go to Nagasaki and Hiroshima. When I am teaching Second World War, I definitely will start with Madhya Pradesh. I can start with Madhya Pradesh. I have an example in Bhopal. Till the child in Bhopal where 1984 gas tragedy happened because of methyl isocyanate. The children, newborns are suffering. It will happen. And I will connect it with what is happening in my country. And if that horror happens, it is even if it is coming here, we also need to face, our generation need to face. That type of affective changes need to happen in the child. That is what the competency means. You need, when I'm talking about the competency, there are many of you know competency has three aspects. What are those three aspects? Knowledge, skill, and attitude. Knowledge, skill, and attitude. Our generation to generation, we are talking about only knowledge. How we can generate knowledge, how we can generate knowledge, how we can push knowledge among the children. We never ever talk about this attitude. The right attitude is very important. That effective change need to happen. That is what I am talking about. This core essential. The competency is very important. There are other things. Since if I am going, we will not able to face complete. I am giving a glimpse only. Anything I need to discuss, you can tell.
सर ये जो सेल्फ डेवलपमेंट गोल वो यूएन लेवल पे बना है ना समूह देश समूह मिलके कुछ देश समूह मिलके एसडीजी गोल्स जो है
SDG goal is an overarching thing. It contains everything. I am coming. I will come to the next aspect. Then you will get the correct reply. Anything need to discuss here? These are major transformative recommendations given in NEP. Yes, sir.
How is this NEP 2020 and the NCF
Ah,
they have given recommendation for the assessment, right?
ah.
So is it going to means reduce the pressure what the children facing for the assessment? Because sometimes, as you have mentioned just now, when child learn in the class, mostly the learning is for the assessment and the end exam.
Yeah.
So competency based assessment fine, but is it practically going to happen? And how it will happen?
That is our responsibility. That's what I am saying. You used the word. This is for uh, assessment. Learning is for assessment. I'm not. I don't believe in that word. Learning is not for assessment. Instead, we need to change it. Just opposite. What is that? Assessment is for learning, not learning is for assessment. It is assessment for learning. I'm giving a simple example. Peer assessment. What do you mean by peer assessment? Peer assessment. You are doing in a group work. You are working in a group. And you know everyone. Your group has only 6 members. Every member know every other members very keenly. And how you are contributing in the group activity, you know. You give a simple rubrics to every child, and the child will give what actually the other child is doing about the other child also. They can give a very objective idea about what other childs are doing, and that data you can support the other child's improvement by providing feedback. And if the child, we are after giving feedback, if improving, what it means, the assessment happens, and assessment focus was not for assessing child, but for improving the learning. The child is improving because of that assessment and the feedback. Therefore, we should not consider I am teaching today 1 hour class, and at the end of the class there will be an assessment, so that I can see how much you learned. And every class, if you are doing like that, I know I have to stop. Uh, every class, if we are doing like that, then everything will go in the last part of assessment of learning only. And if you are more focusing on assessment of learning, the pressure will go, pressure will come. I jokingly many times I use this word. More pressure means What happens? More pressure. If a person is pressurized more and more, what will happen? He will get tension very soon. Tension from life. Tension quickly मिलेगा life से. Therefore, we should not pressurize anyone and enjoy. If we give a chance to the child to assess the others, they also will enjoy it. First, initially we may think that no, how it can, no, it's not possible. The children will not do, but you try. You try with your children. You prepare a simple rubrics how to assess the other children. कोई भी एक्टिविटी का some criteria बना के एक rubrics बना के देखो. It will make a wonderful change. Not only the other child, the child who is assessing also will improve. He or she will know. Okay, this I also need to improve, and that type of changes will happen. Therefore, that assessment, I am not focusing more on assessment. I am focusing that assessment for learning, improving the learning. Therefore, we need to consider in that context every time. You can use various innovative methods. Through that, you can improve. You, of course, it's a time consuming. There is no doubt. It's a time consuming task. We need to have little bit creativity for developing this one. Indeed, innovative thinking we need to develop. Of course, it will happen. It can. It will show you a difference. You practice and you try. I have only 20 minutes and 2 minutes more. Now 18 minutes. And I'm not talking about I already told. These are the four NCF. And NCF, NCF has 5 parts, 5 sections. I'm not going to NCF FS because it is subsumed under NCF FS. And the 5 sections. How many sections in part in NCF? How many part in NCF FS? NCF SE? How many of you read NCF SE 50 times? One time? Half time? 1/4 time? At least your curricular area? At least your curricular area. And even in the preface also it is mentioned. If you don't have the time, don't read all. If you are a mathematics teacher, you read this section only. If you are a science teacher, you read all these section only. Since other session is not important for you. At least what we need to do. And red we call dangerous, but red is here very important. Curricular areas, it is a huge session, and every curricular aspects, the aims, goals, competencies, everything clearly mentioned, and how to even identify the contents based on competencies, everything has been very clearly mentioned, and this is very important session. And cross-cutting, of course, we are talking about the integration of Indian knowledge system, the values, disposition, the safety part, the sustainability part, the technology, since this session is completely focusing on that second aspect. I think all other sessions during this entire 5 days will be focusing on the second aspect only. How the technology can be integrated very effectively for teaching learning process and even assessment in different area. And I will appreciate this NCF SC because of the fourth part. And fourth part is very, very important. What is that fourth part? Have you read any NCF before this? Any NCF CK Pyre koi NCF da? How many NCF da?
2005.
How many NCF da? Yeah. I am talking about competency. I am talking knowledge question. I am not going to that level. Anyway, you just need to understand. There were lots of NCF. This is the fifth one. NCF originally we call it as NCF sixth one because this year we have two NCF. One is FS and one is SE. If we count NCF FS also, this is the sixth one. And all other NCF, if you see that NCF 2005 also, there was no separate session on school culture and process. Of course, it mentioned about the school creating a conducive school environment and all, but a dedicated session has been given in this NCF for school culture and processes. That is very, very important. Why? Whatever may be the availability, everything is available, but if a school leader and other stakeholders are not able to create a conducive culture in the school, then we may not be able to realize the goals of school education or the vision of education given in NEP. And that importance has been given. And I request if you get time, this is very important since there are many very important things. For example, uh, I have going through your introduction, and I saw many of you are written. I am from DMS Mysuru. But is it DMS Mysuru? Balaji, sir? Eh? Still you are in DMS Mysuru? Why you are not using PhD?
I have used it.
No.
I have used it.
I have seen.
No, I have used it.
No, I see.
No, I have used it.
Many of you just use DMS Bhubaneswar, DMS Mysuru. And we are our identity, and there came a board also.
Yeah.
PMC board.
Mysuru is not
Many,
DMS.
eh?
Demonstration school.
Ah.
DMS is not there. It's a
DMS.
Demonstration multi-purpose.
No.
DMS, no sir, multi-purpose word has been removed.
Removed.
It is
Okay, DM
DMS,
only.
yes.
DM. Okay, anyway.
Now it
You
becomes
are not
DMS.
using PMC. You have a beautiful board.
We are using.
You are many of you school have lots of codes.
Yeah.
You have made lots of codes and all. This all will have an impact on child. Every day they are watching this. All these things have been given in the school culture. What is the importance of even relationship? There are relationships. How to maintain relationship? Everything has been given. Therefore, I will say all of you need to, since we are part of the system, need to go and read this school culture and process. This is very, very important. And NCF is talking about, I mentioned about the vision, how we can realize this vision. For realizing this vision, NCF beautifully spelled 5 important aims of school education. Any idea about aims of school education?
Critical thinking.
Critical thinking. I don't have time, therefore I am showing. Eh? Yes. Economic participation, very good. Cultural participation is there. Then democratic participation is there. Health and well-being is there. Rational thinking and reasoning. These are 5 important goals of school education. And I request all of you to at least conceptualize this. This is very, very important. We all need to know why our competencies. We are talking about the competencies, learning outcome. And you can see every competencies are indirectly linked to these goals, these aims of school education. And now you connect these aims, 5 aims with vision. When I am talking about vibrant, equitable knowledge society, whether economic participation is important for that. Through economic participation, can I create a vibrant knowledge society? Equitable and vibrant knowledge society through economic participation. Everyone knows the different economic activities. They know how to live, how to spend, and even the literacy, financial literacy, everything. That automatically will have, yes, society. Everyone is aware about these aspects. That will create a vibrant knowledge society. Therefore, every aims of school education is linking towards the vision of NEP, and realizing these visions, aims of school education will automatically will help us to realize the broad aims, vision of education given in our NEP 2020. Now, how these aims can be realized? For realizing all these aims, we have the curricular areas, section C, and in each curricular areas, you might have seen a learning standard. Have you seen learning standard? Have you read learning standard DMS? I am talking about again DMS. Teachers, you might have gone through learning standard. And every curricular areas it is clearly spelled out. When I am reading curricular area mathematics, it starts with the aims of mathematics education. For NCF school education, what is the aims of mathematics education? It starts with curricular aims, then it goes curricular goals. It is specific than aims. The goals are more specific, and the goals will lead us to the aims. Therefore, there are loads of curricular goals, and all these curricular goals has been given under different stages of school education. You can see curricular goals for mathematics in middle stage or preparatory stage or secondary separately. There will be curricular goals for mathematics in middle stage. That means these curricular goals are common for even grade 6, 7 and 8. This is a stage specific thing. And how these curricular goals can be realized. And this can be realized through the spelled out competencies, and competencies are more specific, measurable, observable changes that is happening across the different curricular area during teaching learning processes and other activities. And this is also given stage specific. And this is also since sometimes we may use grade 7 competencies, grade 8 competencies, grade 9 competencies. It's actually not grade specific. The competencies given in NCFs are stage specific. We can have under a curricular goal in mathematics, there is a competency 1 for middle stage, competency 2 for middle stage, competency 3. For a particular curricular goal, you may see 2, 3 competencies, and these also stage specific. What it means, that competency you may not be able to realize within a year. 1 year teaching learning process में competency realize नहीं करेगा. It is a gradual process, cumulative process, and you need to have something activities which leads towards that competency. For in grade 6, some specific activities that will help you to support this competency, taking the knowledge learned in grade 6 as a basic prerequisite. Grade 7 you will have something, then at the end of grade 8 you will be going to realize that competency. This is the way beautifully the learning standard has been. And what is that activities or specific thing or the measurable, observable outcome every child need to realize at the end of each grade? We call it as that granular activities which leads to the competency we call as learning outcome. And learning outcomes are grade specific. That means a particular competency for a particular stage. You can see a corresponding learning outcome in grade 6, another in grade 7, another in grade 8. And out of these three learning outcome, there will be activities in that grades supporting, and out of grade 8, once the child is completing that, you can realize that particular competence. This is the way NCF has been conceptualized, and our textbook also developed in this way. Since when we are preparing textbook, we started with our curricular goals and competencies. From that competency, we cut out the learning outcome for different grades. These are the learning outcomes, and this also you can see it is in a cumulative way. That means for attaining learning outcome for grade 7, you need to realize learning outcome for grade 6. It is a prerequisite now. And for attaining learning outcome for grade 8, grade 7 learning outcome is a prerequisite. It's a connected one. And the child, when he or she reaches grade 8, he or she will be realizing the competencies specified for that. This is the way our NCF has been conceptualized. We can see an example. I am not going. This is third in NCF. You can see how it is connected. The aims of rational thought and independent thinking. This is the aims of education. How language education, curricular aims, curricular goal, competency, and learning outcome, specific learning outcome, is linked to aims of education. One learning outcome in grade 9, you can see grade for a competency language R1, there is a learning outcome for grade 9 as well as grade 9, grade 10. and these two together realizing will support in realizing that competency, and that competency along with the other competencies will realize the curricular goal, and that curricular goal along with the other curricular goal in that curricular area will develop curricular aim, and that curricular aim along with other curricular aim of the language education and other curricular aim of all other curricular areas, science, social science, mathematics, everything will help in realizing aims of education, and all these five aims of education will support in realizing the vision of our
लर्निंग आउटकम तो रिवाइज नहीं हुआ, पहले जो था वही
ना
है।
पहले यही है, ये नहीं है अभी। हमारा नया टेक्स्ट बुक है ना, ग्रेड 1 to grade 8 का लर्निंग आउटकम इज नॉट द ओल्ड वन, इट इज नाउ डेवलप्ड बेस्ड ऑन our NCF competencies, and the document you will get very soon, the new learning outcomes. I think foundation stage is finalized. Upload नहीं किया. You will get learning outcome. Don't use the old learning outcome. It's not connected with the old learning outcome at all. And this is the representation actually. If you are taking middle stage language R1, and there are three grade 6, 7 and 8, there will be a curricular goal that is common for all these grades, and there will be one or two, more than two competencies. For example, C1.1, C1.2, 1.3. This is also common for all the grades. And in response to C1.1, there is an LO for grade 1, grade 6. There is another LO for grade 7. There is another LO for grade 8. हो गया. I am stopping. Don't worry. Don't worry. There will be another LO for grade 8. And these three LO together will help in C1.1, C1.1, 2, 3, and everyone CG1. CG1 will help in, all the CG will help. This is the way. I am not talking other aspects. I know the pedagogy, since it is a 5 days workshop for technology, the NCF has given more importance to use and integration for technology. And I am not an expert in technology, therefore I am not going. Since the rest of the session completely on this particular aspect, I feel use and integration of technology, how effectively we can use with modern technology for even for participation child. When I am talking about even competency based assessment, how we can use competency based assessment through a pedagogy, this technology media with the support of technology. How we can, sometimes we say our affective changes may not be able to assess through technology, but now some virtual morning Viraj is talking about the virtual tour and all. I think even we can try to just effective changes also through technology, and there are lots of avenues. I'm not going, and with this, I am just stopping. Thank you very much for your patience here. If you have any one doubt, I think 20 minutes में 2 minutes बाकी है ना? नहीं? Okay. Education, they are talking about uh, the uh, the various types of pedagogy. They are talking about the 21st century skill. They are talking about various pedagogy. All these are given in sustainable development goal. And if you link it with our pedagogical transformation, last slide I have shown you, this one. All these pedagogical transformation given in our NCF are directly linked with the SDGs implementation. Everything is there. That is why in NEP is also talking about the how India through transformative pedagogy and transformative education we can realize the SDG 2030 goals. And cross-cutting, if you see the cross-cutting themes, there are sustainability, there are ICT integration, there are multilingual. All these are part and parcel of SDG 2030.
ग्लोबल सिटीजनशिप के बारे में कुछ है हमारा एनसीएफ में?
Yes.
कौन सी है में?
अब global knowledge super power बना रहे, every individual is global citizen. NCF is talking. Every individual is global citizen means it's nothing but we need to give global citizenship education for everyone.
एम्स ऑफ स्कूल एजुकेशन में क्लियर कट जो है, जैसे कुछ देशों का है ग्लोबल सिटी, जैसे कनाडा।
No, NEP में है. आप you read NEP global SGG
एकदम
2030
सर
goals
बोल
it
देते
is
हैं
mentioned.
हम.
It is clearly mentioned. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you very
sir.
much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry.
No. Actually, today there was a little time slack because of chai also. However, we have extended 15 more minutes than the time. Thank you so much, sir. I have only another 2 minutes of time I'm taking with you. I'll just call out the name. I request those people to pick up your things because we are making the group today. So you will sit tomorrow in that manner only. Okay? And TEDA forms tomorrow morning we will give because now giving there we wanted to relieve you. We want you to go rest and come tomorrow 9:30 sharp. You have to be there. Since tomorrow newsletter has to be made, we have to make you into groups now. Nirdesh ma'am, Nirjesh, please come this side. Niyantri, if I'm pronouncing the name wrong.